Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you. I hope you're very excited for coming for day 3 where we're going to be talking about content. It's all about building relationships through content to be able to provide value to your customers as well, giving them that opportunity to like. So we'd worked on who our customer is, we worked on who we are. So now we're going to put it all together to make sure the content resonates with your customer, with you, and with the value that you're offering. So Kelly is here with me. She's a self-love coach. I'm very excited to have her here. I asked her if she wouldn't mind coming in and talking about content because she's definitely really good at doing it and she does an incredible job. So I wanted her to share her expertise and knowledge with us as well. And I took her method for creating a planner. So she's going to go through that with us. I stole it from her goals thing. So I'm just waiting to see if I can find myself on my phone. Oh, perfect. There we are. Just going to turn the volume down. So this way I can see us once we start the schedule. Hi, Sandra. Okay, so we're going to quickly pull up the presentation. And then at the end, once we're done the presentation, I'm going to show you guys how you can get some really quick posts and quick, easy prompts set up from an AI system into Canva to be able to create it. So I know a couple of you guys have asked about being able to make content a little bit faster. So that's one opportunity to do that. So we're going to be building a good foundational relationship with customers through quality content. So we'll quickly recap day 2. So day 2, we talked about, sorry, my transitions are slow. The importance of personal branding. So you are enough. That's why my challenge is called this, because you are very important. And a lot of times when we're doing network marketing businesses, we forget how important and how invaluable we are, because we're the person that they're going to be working with. We're the person that they're purchasing from. We're the ones that are marketing and sharing and doing all the work. So we need to be able to stand out amongst everybody else, right? So the importance of personal branding. Sorry, these transactions automations, they're a little bit slow. I think for tomorrow, I might just take it off so that they're not slow. Okay, sustainable, scalable with being authentic, build authority, trust, like, and know, stand out in the crowd with your unique methods. And the building authenticity will help make you sustainable and you don't burn out. So common mistakes with personal branding is, again, sorry guys. Tomorrow's presentation is not going to have any automation. There we go. Not sharing personal stories, focusing too much on your audience, not paying attention to what they respond to, copying other people. Again, you are unique. You are an individual person. You want to make sure that you stand out for you, and copying someone else is not going to help you be you and not going to help you sustain your business, because it's a lot harder to pretend to be somebody. Great. And things to help with your personal branding, your core values, know what your core value is, know the core values of your team members, especially. And if you learn it from your customers, so stuff that you value, you're going to attract people that have the similar values. So that's why it's easy for us to talk to them. You can do personality tests. Don't get lost in them. If you want to focus on your business to take time, do 1 or 2 just to kind of get to know your bases. Again, the ones that you pay for, you get better quality and you get better reporting from it, but you can do a lot of free ones. Self-reflection is a huge thing. Make sure that you are knowing who you are, what you like, what you don't like. Visual elements, your colors, your fonts, your graphics. Make sure they're consistent, because that will help people recognize who you are. And it can change and tweak, but pick out something you like, and then you can always change to see how it works for you, what your audience responds to. Sorry, and then the education, hobbies, and interests. So again, your brand is about you, what you like, because it's easier for you to connect with people that have similar interests. And your personal experiences. Everybody's unique, everybody's different, and you might experience something standing next to somebody and they have a completely different experience for the same situation. So make sure you talk about those. So what we will learn today is the importance of your content for your audience and your business, your common mistakes that people do when doing content, different types, styles, and themes for your content posts. So again, if people are like, well, I don't know what to post, and they struggle and they get overwhelmed and stressed out and they don't post things. So knowing the different types, styles, and themes will make that a lot easier. The do's and don'ts and examples when sharing content. Creating your content pillars and plan your content to be consistent. And actions you can take to help with your content. All right, so before Kelly gets into this part of it, I also wanted to talk about our focus and energy. Really, like what we focus on is where the energy is going to go and what we're going to work on. So the better, if you focus on content, then your content's going to do better. You're going to get the message through a lot clearer, and it's a lot easier for people to understand. At the moment, my focus was creating this challenge. So my content has gone down, and we talked about how my visibility had gone down a little bit as well. So focusing on your content to build your audience is super important for attraction marketing. When you first start messy, make mistakes. That's okay. Our family and friends, who are most of our audience, will be very forgiving for us. And then you can learn and tweak and then build as you get better with it. All right. So Kelly.
All right. Well, thank you, Fiona, for doing this challenge. I know that everyone is getting great benefit from it, and for inviting me as well to share. So, content. I just want to, before I go through the points here in the PowerPoint,
Mm-hmm.
I wanna ask people to think about to think of content as their business card. Okay, you can think about it as a business card. You can think about it as an advertisement as well. So we have this tool now through social media, through internet to reach more people, right? So it's a big chance, it's a big opportunity. And we have to take it for what it is, because as things are developing, content is going to become even more important each day. It is important now. Social media is where people are at. So this is, what we need to understand, that if we want to reach customers, we have to go where they are. So content is definitely very important, right? It helps us build trust and credibility, right, from our customers. So the correct content, of course, it needs to be the correct content. It will demonstrate that you are an expert in the area, right, that you are choosing, or in your business field, and it will position you as a reliable source of information. So the more you get yourself out there and share valuable content, the more that people will have you in the back of their mind as their go-to person for a certain topic or their problem. Remember that you are solving a problem for your customers, right? And that should always be your focus. You are there to provide solutions. You are there to help them. So good content, of course, will get shared and that will expand your reach, and it will introduce your brand to a wider audience. So again, it's very important and it's very useful. That's why we have to learn how to make good content, and that's what we will learn here. So, content can lead people to find you, to find your other platforms to learn more. Yeah. So, as well, um, people will get to know about your business, and they can get to know about your YouTube through TikTok or through any other social platform. So, it's all kind of connected, right? Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. All right. So, good
Sorry,
content.
I thought there was 3. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, good content will provide solutions for your customers, like we said. So, it will also answer their questions, it will entertain them, right? And in this way, you will serve their needs and wants of your audience. Now, this is a very interesting thing. Fiona and me, we have talked about this before, how we should focus on giving our customers what they want. Really, It should be more focused on what they want and not so much. I mean, you have to give them what they need, but especially when you're starting, I feel like the focus should be more on what they actually want to see because you want to get that engagement. So again, you have to understand your customer, and we will talk about this a little bit later. And you have to think, what does this person want to hear, right? And what they want to hear is that you have solutions for them, which you do, and you have to be very confident on it, right? And so if you're confident and you know the importance of content, you will put yourself out there in the best way possible, right? And of course, you will learn in the process and you will just keep getting better and better. So that's the good thing. So again, the right content captures their attention more frequently, and more engagement means more visibility in algorithms. So that's what we want, right? We want to attract those people, those customers that need our solution.
Before I flip, I just wanted to kind of put into, like Kelly mentioned. So, for example, for you guys want more customers, you want more sales. So that's what you're interested in. And a lot of what you guys were interested in was when I posted, hey, who wants to learn how to do better content, right? Because you want to do better content. So what you need is customers and an audience that's going to respond and engage as well. So the goal was to go to what you wanted, but to know at the same time we're going to teach you what you need. Like, you need your target audience, you need your personal branding to in order to get to the content that you want to share with your audience. So we want to be able to think about that stuff as well. And like we talked about a couple of days ago with the algorithms, Facebook is really pushing short videos. Instagram is doing the same thing. TikTok is really big. YouTube now has short videos as well. So everybody's pushing videos and they want to do a lot of personal connections. So when you first start doing this, I mean, don't hesitate to ask your family and friends to comment on the posts that resonate with them. So if you're posting about something and they don't like it, they don't have to post on it. We don't want to be chasing them down, right? That's the whole point of this. But if they want to respond to you and say, hey, I just shared about this recipe. If you tried it before, can you comment? Or if you gave that recipe to one of your family and friends, comment and be like, hey, what did you think about this when you tried it? Because then you're going to get their comment, respond back, and you're going to have a success story if they like that product. Right. So don't be afraid to help get your support from your family and friends, but just don't chase them and beg them for stuff. Right. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so of course, this is kind of related already with the algorithms, and the good content improves search engine optimization. Okay, so I just get a definition of what that is because that term might be new, very new for some. So it refers to the practice of optimizing a website or online content in order to improve its visibility and ranking on search engine results pages, such as Google and any other search engine, right? So content is important, right? Every piece of it it's important actually, and that's why um, this can be quite stressful in the beginning, especially when you just don't have the tools. um, but it's, yeah, we will do our best and we will keep learning in the process, right? So that when we make good content, we will be able to say the right words and have the right format that will facilitate for the search engine optimization to get your content out there for more people, right? So more people will view your videos, blogs, or content when searching for their problem. And it will lead organic traffic to your website or through a funnel, sorry, to collect emails sent to your website or purchase from you. So that's what we want. What's organic traffic? Again, in case you're not familiar with the term, it's the people that are coming naturally and are interacting naturally without the help of an ad, like a paid ad. They're coming and they're interacting with your content, and they're taking a look at that the offers that you're putting out there. right? The offers of your services. So that's the goal, right? So I think we will agree that content is very important. Now, I do want to say something else. There is a mistake that some people make about content or content creation, and especially for the ones that are just starting a business. And this happened to me. That's with in the beginning, like three 3 years ago, when I had a different um, content page, right? It was not a business actually. It was more of a just an influencing, right? So my mistake at that time, which I realize now, is that I was putting so much emphasis, so much focus, and I was prioritizing content creation, okay, but I was like too much, and that was taking too much of my time trying to make the perfect content. And then I was forgetting, like, okay, but what is it really that I'm offering to people? And I was never making even, you know, even any offers, any sales offers, right? So there has to be a balance. Content is important, and this is what we will learn today, how to make good content. But again, it has to be a balance, right? Because like I said in the beginning, the your content on social media, it's more like a business card or like an advertisement, right, of your personal branding or your business. And so what you want is to have a solid business with good offers. You have to work most of the time on that, okay? And then use the right tools to make great content at the same time to reach more people. But so both are important, but of course your business, your offers, right, your products, working on those things are way more important as well. So just to put things on perspective, right? So we can go to the next one.
I just want to kind of
Yeah.
touch a little bit on funnels as well, because you
Mhm.
kind of talked about it, and I didn't think about it till you were explaining it as well. Funnels, there are systems and websites and programs where you can create something that's really a bit more accessible. So that's what I did for you guys when you guys signed up for this challenge to get the workbook. I put you into a funnel. So I sent you a link and I gave you an opportunity to collect the email. So I was able to send you guys emails. And then in my survey I'm sending on Saturday, I'll be asking if you want to continue getting tips and tricks, right? Just to make sure that you want to continue receiving some emails. But we want to collect emails from people, because what if Facebook were to shut down? What if something happens and they delete your group, right? You're going to lose all that hard work that you've done, because you don't own Facebook, you don't own Instagram, you don't own TikTok. But what you do own is your emails, right? So we want to try whenever we can to collect emails from people, to be able to send them emails, because they do have a higher chance of seeing it, because it's going 100% into their inbox. Where the news feeds, it really depends on what Facebook decides they want to show. If Facebook decides that the customer wants to see all horse related stuff, they don't want to see self-love stuff, well, your messages aren't going to get to that person, because they're going to be too busy sending them horse related stuff. So
Mhm.
by having an email, then I can email someone about self-love, and they're guaranteed to get it because it goes right into their inbox. So that's one of the
Exactly.
key things with the business. And a funnel, though, like, you don't have to use a website for it. Just a funnel is like that shape, and everybody is looking at your content. So you have 100% of people, maybe 1,000 people, whatever it is, looking at your content. Then you have the
Mhm.
people that the next section would be is them commenting and engaging and sharing and saving. So you're responding back to them, because you have to respond back to every single person to be able to build your content and build your algorithms. And then when, say, for example, if you're like, oh, hey, I have a recipe that's everybody loves it, are you interested? And they're like, yes, please. Then you respond, say, I will send you a message in DM, and then you go into DM. You don't put the recipe on your website because you want more curiosity. You want people to continue building that curiosity. So you'll message that person in DM, and then you ask them first to be like, hey, you said you're interested in this. Would you like this? Because again, you want them to respond back to you. You don't want them to sit there for 6 months or 6 hours or a next day before they respond back to you, because you're going to hurt your algorithm in your DMs. If you say, here's the message, but if you say, hey, you said you're interested in my recipe, can I have it? Then they're going to, if they say yes, then the algorithm's like, oh, they responded. They want to talk to you. So then you can go ahead and send it to them. And then that puts them into that funnel, right? So you don't have to send them a link to sign up for anything, but you can be like, I have more on my Facebook. Would you like to go and invite to my Facebook group, right? So try to put them in your Facebook groups, try to get their email address, try to, if you have a website set up, try to get them onto that website to view your blogs. If you have a YouTube, try to get them onto YouTube, whatever you need to do for them to see your content as well. But a funnel just means that you're taking from a wide selection of people down to a narrow one. So you can still do it without paying for a system, without paying for anything, just by speaking to them and getting them into your Facebook group. But try to take everything off of your Facebook social media and put it to DM so that you're still building that curiosity on your content.
And personal connections, right?
Mm-hmm.
Personal connections. Yeah. And I believe that day 4, in day 4, you will talk more about that, right?
Yep, how systems work and go into the more of that detail for it. So we'll
Yeah.
head back into the importance of content.
So, yeah. So, content is important because it also strengthens your brand identity, right? So create a brand that people can easily recognize on any platforms they see you, stand out in the crowd, and be consistent, right? Consistent quality content that resonates with your audience can help in creating a strong brand identity and loyalty. So, um, yeah, it's just, it will create that special connection. Like people will get used to seeing quality posts that are helping them, that are serving them in a specific way. And if they see that you are consistent with it, then they will trust you, that you are a serious person about your business, right? And that you are there ready always with new information, with new helpful information, and you're making it easy for them. So they will, again, they will, in the back of their mind, right? You will be that person, their go-to person for that specific problem, right? And so whenever they um, acknowledge they need that type of service, they will look for you or they will recommend you to somebody else, right? So it's incredible the way that the mind works. I'm not gonna spend too much time there, but you know, just by looking continuously at something, it just will stay in your brain. That's why it's important to be consistent too, right? Okay, we can go to the next one.
Mistakes.
Oh, so common mistakes that people make with content. Okay. Um, Number one is not defining a target audience. That, you know, it's kind of like trying to talk to everybody and then you end up not talking to nobody, right? Because you need to know your content will get better and better when you know who are you talking to, right? So you need to know your customer. You need to know what is the problem that this person is going through, what solutions maybe they already tried in the past and they, those solutions didn't work for them, right? You need to know what is your unique solution as well, right? And especially you have to focus on your customer. Again, what do they need and what do they want, and how you can reach them, right? But so you need to know uh, who do you want to serve, right? So if you just want to, you know, like in the case of influencers, um, you know, even they might be a traveling influencers or about makeup, whatever, they very successful people, they always hit those pain points for their audience, their target audience. Okay. The next mistake is being overly salesy with their posts, right? So again, for people that already have their offers established, and you know, sometimes we might get so excited about our products and about our offers because we know they're good for people and we know they're going to solve those problems. Okay. But the truth is that people don't like to be sold to. They like to buy, but they don't like to be sold to. So that's why we use attraction marketing, right? We focus and we choose the language that shows that we have the solution they're looking for. We have to talk to them about those pain points. We have to kind of touch on the wound a little bit, right? And then tell them exactly how our product is gonna solve those issues. So that's that's important. And like I said, the other side of this mistake, it's what I mentioned before, is just posting and posting and posting, but not having any offers at all. So um it's all about a balance, right? um I don't know if you wanted to add something about this, Fiona, about this common
Um,
mistake.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked before yesterday. Just to reiterate, we all have our products, we all share our products, but we don't want to share the brands because we want people to come to us. We don't want them to Google what the brand is. We want them to say, "Well, um, what type of rice cooker are they using? What
Yeah.
type of makeup do they have on? Like, look at her eyes, it's really popping. Like, what type of makeup is she using for that?" So we don't want people to see the brands because we want them to ask us. Because again, we want them to engage and come to us and say, "I really like that eye color. What are you wearing?" Right? So we
Hmm.
want to do different things like that.
So that's a good example of focusing on the solution. Content focused on solutions. You would show them your beautiful makeup, and that will attract them to ask you, hey, where did you get that? Right? Or teach me how to do my eyes like that, whatever it is. Okay, let's go to the next one. Another common mistake related to content is the lack of consistency or schedule for posts, right? So we already talked about that a little bit. It's important to be consistent because the more we get our face out there, it's the more possibilities to get our customers in, right? And I heard somebody saying the other day in a video, he was saying, what if your next post or your next video is the one that will go viral, right? It's or not just going viral, but attracting your ideal customer, right? So we got to put ourselves out there, be consistent. And that's why we have to also set realistic goals for posting, right? Something that we can actually do so that we don't get discouraged, right? And we will show you an easy way to do that a little bit later. Okay, another common mistake is ignoring engagement. So it's not just about posting, posting, posting. You have to engage in the platform, engage with other people, because that's the purpose of social media, to be social. So even that is taken into consideration by the algorithms. Is this person just posting, posting, posting? But she's never commenting on other people post or saving or sharing, whatever. So all of that is important. Um, it should. So some people say you should at least spend around 30 minutes, right, Fiona?
Yep.
Engaging in the platforms that you are using for your posts as well. So that's like a minimum, right?
And to kind of quickly add on top of that, also something I mentioned it the first day, attraction marketing, it's not, and that was my myth, it's not just have everybody come to us. There's a
Mm,
lot of work and a lot of strategic thoughts and planning that goes into it. And one of those things is having a list of people that you want to interact with. So whether
Mhm.
there's someone that you aspire and you want to interact with them to get more of their content, to get more motivation, or to follow them and see what they're doing, if it's someone that you know can benefit from your products and you've seen their struggles and their solutions and you know they're not quite ready yet, if you start commenting on their stuff, your products are going to start showing, like your posts are going to start showing up to them. So you want to have a list of people that are your potential buyers. You want to have a list of people that you're supporting to help them grow their businesses, such as like your cross lines, your uplines, or other people that you're networking with, or people that you want to network with. You know, like if you have someone that has a podcast and you know what you can sell would be great on that podcast, but you have a better chance of getting onto that podcast if you're interacting with that person and they know who you are.
Mhm.
So have a list of people and make a very intentional comments and add value to get them to recognize and see you as well. And then they might share some of your content. They might start sharing your posts because they'd be like, hey, this
Yes.
person said this. And all of a sudden you're in an audience that's a million people and you probably have people that are responding back to your comment and your posts as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, and as well, also when we engage with other people's content and we watch their content, we get inspiration from, their ideas. We all learn from each other, right? So we get inspiration and we see also what type of content is working for, other people doing something similar to what you're doing, or even what is something that you could do even better than them, right? Why not? Okay. So um next one is posting the same on each platform, right? So again, it is not the purpose of this specific talk to, you know, talk about w- um, what is the best content for different platforms. I think you will maybe touch a little bit on this, Fiona, later, but I think it's pretty obvious, right? That like Instagram, uh, Facebook, TikTok, all of them, they have different type of content. Okay, also different, like, or at least, well, maybe this changed, but before it used to be, maybe I believe that the younger people were using TikTok,
Mhm.
while maybe the older people were still on Facebook, whatever. Now that has changed, but still there are different types of content, okay, that are better for different types of platforms, right? And not only that, but people will get bored if you're posting the same thing everywhere, right? So you can kind of spice it up. So like even your friends, if they're, helping you, supporting you, and they're following you everywhere, right? um they might not engage as much as they would if you kind of spice things up a little bit and change them a bit from platform to platform. Okay. Next one. Next mistake is not using analytics or insights. Okay. So this is a very good tool inside all of the social media platforms that people just kind of neglect. Okay. It's sometimes it's not just about the number of views, right? But it's about comments and engagement. And you can compare using the insights or analytics, you can compare the time that you posted. Um, and all of these things, you can take them into consideration to see what's working and what you want to do more of, right? So definitely we shouldn't neglect that. Another mistake that people make is avoiding messy content or seeming too polished, right? So we are saying that, yeah, quality content, it's important, but that doesn't mean that it has to be perfect, right? Because like it says here, right? No one has time for fake people, you know. um, People want to relate to you as much as possible. They want to know that you're a real person, right? And that you feel their pain. So of course this depends on your business, right? How polished you want to look, whatever. But just know that you don't have to wait to be perfect in order to start making content and putting yourself out there and your offers out there. You are enough, right? You are enough, and you have to believe that. And you have to believe in what you're doing. If you're really passionate about helping people, you know, you will keep that in mind. And whenever you feel like quitting or not doing or whatever, remember those goals. Okay.
Yeah. One of the
Um,
biggest
yep.
things with this one here, and the reason why I say like people avoid messy is because they're too afraid and they get overwhelmed and they procrastinate and then they don't do the content or quality,
Yes.
or they're trying to say, well, I have to meet a schedule, but I can't, I'm not ready. It's not good enough. Right. Or they spend
Mhm.
hours cleaning their homes, which is not bad. I mean, it's a good thing, but they just do it because they don't want people to see that they live in a house with other people and that it could not necessarily be untidy at times, right? So then
Yes.
it takes a lot of energy and effort, but sometimes it's just a matter of throwing it out there and doing it, because then you're going to get people to see it versus wait, like not getting it done because you're too afraid of it not looking the way it should look.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, so next one is not proofreading for grammar or spelling. I think this I feel like this should be an obvious one, but it's not for some people, so it's good to be reminded. We want to look professional, right? And we want to make sure that everyone will understand uh, the way we're writing. And so again, it depends because if you have, if like if you're just an influencer and you're just making jokes, whatever, okay, people might be more forgiving. But if you have a serious business and you want to let people know that you're serious about it, right? You will try to have the least grammar or spelling mistakes as possible. Okay.
And mistakes happen, which
Mhm.
is totally fine.
Yeah,
It's just if
exactly.
you're consistently having mistakes or you're not taking the time to read your posts or read what you're saying for clarity, then people are like, well, you're not going to take it off. Like
Yeah.
um,
It
you're
will
not,
make you look careless,
yeah. And then you don't
you
have that
know.
energy and effort to put into it.
So avoid that mistake as well. Um, okay, next one is not evolving when algorithms change or not or following trends, right? So it's two things, but it's good to keep an eye on how things are changing in different platforms, what is the trends, right? And use that as opportunities. Like, don't see it as a challenge, see it as an opportunity, right? uh, those trends are just a new chance to put yourself out there to maybe a different uh, different people than the followers you already have. Okay, so it's good to, and it makes things fun, right? 'Cause again, social media, it's to have fun, to connect with people, and then attract customers as well. Mhm. Okay. Next one is ignoring visuals, such as videos or pictures. Just like here, we have no picture, right? So visuals are super important. Um, they, you know, most people are very visually attracted to things. So it just makes things nicer and more digestible too, you know? So the last one here is neglecting, sorry, it's not the last one. I think it's one before the last one. Neglecting storytelling. So this is it's sad because some of us are actually very good at telling stories in real life, but we might get shy or we might get worried about oh, how are people gonna view me if I share this personal story or whatever. And it's totally understandable to be a little bit fearful, But again, don't allow those fears to stop you from telling your story, and you know being able to um it helps your customers find you more relatable. Okay. Also, it doesn't have to be stories just about you, right? It can be the story about your business. Okay. How did it start? Why did it start? Who do you want to help? You can talk about that. Or you can have testimonials, right? uh, Stories from your customers. All of this type of content is usually very much engaging. People engage with it a lot, and it really attracts people to you and to your offer. So um, it's a mistake not to do it. Uh, oh yeah, I think this is the last one. The last one is not having any call to action in your content. So this is a very bad mistake, because maybe you put so much effort in your content, may in your post, your reel, TikTok, whatever, and maybe people are engaging and commenting, even saving or sharing, but if they're not following, or if you didn't get their email, and you don't have a way to connect with them more in the future, it might be because of this reason. You never even invited them to follow you, or to click on this link, or to check your offers on your profile, etc. So I've seen people do their CTAs, their call to action. Some of them, they do it right at the beginning of their video, or kind of like halfway through, uh when the climax of the story, for example, if they're telling a story, right right there in the climax, before they give that solution to the story, they make the CTA. Some do at the end. I personally like the beginning and the middle, even though sometimes you might forget or whatever, but at least have it somewhere, right? Invite people to take action. Okay.
Yeah. And another thing too, it could be to save posts or whatever. You don't necessarily need to have them to come to you for everything, but it helps with engagement, because I had done a post and I didn't pay attention, totally forgot about my call to action, but it was my top 10 uses for lemon. I didn't get a lot of comments on it. But when I did it for my lavender, I was like, save this post for later so you can come back as a reference. So that was one call to action. I told them to save it. And then I was like, tell me how you use lavender. And
Mm-hmm.
that was two call to actions I put into that post. And I had
Mm.
two people say, I saved your post. I'm going to come back if I ever need other ideas for how to use it. And
Yes.
a lot of people had responded and they're like, I use it for this, I use it for that. And I got a lot of interactions, I got a lot of impressions and views on it because I had done the call to action. So the
Mm-hmm.
lemon one, I missed that, right? So it really helps because people like to be asked their opinions and their thoughts.
Yes.
They like to be included, and they like to do, if you tell them to do something, they like to do it, right? So it's a lot easier for us to get that engagement, to build our algorithms, to get a bigger audience, and to have more people view our valuable content, and to be able to share offers and our knowledge when we have people that we say, hey, come talk to us.
Yeah. And so now that you mentioned that, I remember that I also wanted to say, um, so your call to action should have a purpose as well. So the same way that we talked about know your audience, know what's your purpose with this post, and know what you want your customers to do. If you are just starting and maybe what you need is engagement to get more reach, then maybe your call to action needs to be, please save this post, or please share with your friends, or please comment. Okay. But if you already have a large audience, for example, but you're just not making sales, maybe your call to action will be different. Why? Because your purpose is to make more sales, right? So maybe it will be, uh, please click on this link, or to see my offers, to learn more about how I can help you, go here, go there. So, or comment certain thing and I will DM you, whatever. So even we have to be very intentional with everything. And again, maybe it is overwhelming in the beginning, but you know, it will get easier as much as you practice it. So, yeah.
And we're here to help.
Yes, of
And anyone
course.
who's in the Facebook group, ask your questions, share your comments,
Yes,
ask if it's good. We'll be able to support that.
of course.
All right, so let's talk about some different types, styles of content, as well as I have themes later, because again, it's easy to say we're talking about content and how important it is to share valuable stuff, but at the same time, it could be a bit challenging to say, well, what exactly am I supposed to do? Right? So types of content, and algorithms and social media loves all different types. So if you're good at posting, that's great, but make sure you try the other stuff too. Dabble into a lot of different things because it gives you more a well-rounded way of doing it. So different types of posts are blogs, newsletters. So they're your longer ones with more in-depth details and examples and success stories. Reels. So that's your short videos. They've started to make them longer because TikTok actually, a lot of people, instead of going to Google, they're going to TikTok. And that's how I learned a lot of these transitions for the PowerPoints. I didn't go to Google. I went to TikTok and I watched somebody do it and I repeated what they did. Stories, those are amazing. It gives you 24 hours of snapshot. It's really great for your personal stuff or for your quick sales or your quick call to actions or launches or anything like that. It's amazing to use those or just give you a behind the scenes type of thing, right? Because they're there for 24 hours. You can save them and archive them and share them and highlight them as well. Videos, podcasts, ebooks or books, classes, workshops, and challenges such as this. So this entire 5-day challenge is a content, doing content, and interactive content like polls and quizzes and surveys. So for the different styles that we have, you've got your educational posts, and you want to do a variety and mix because you want to give people different things. If you're constantly doing just educational posts, it's good, but you're going to get boring, right? Inspirational or entertaining, so really motivation, jokes, personal stories, whatever it works for you. Viral invitation post. So this here, it's very important. These are what call to actions are part of viral invitation posts. Because like Kelly was saying, you want to be intentional. You want people to respond to you. So if you're like, hey, I use lemon oil, but if I don't say anything else, I'm not inviting them to do something. And I'd be like, hey, I have a blend that I use for my diffuser. Are you interested? Right? Because then you're inviting them to come respond to you. So you're asking them to engage with you. So you could share posts and content and build your brand and be able to talk to your audience. But unless you ask them to do something, you're less likely to get that engagement. You're less likely to get that sales. So you're just sharing content without being able to get something back as well. Right? Conversational. Everybody likes conversations. Everybody loves stories. Stories are huge. Everybody remembers stories. Being authoritative. Right? So having the authority, being the expert in the area. Newsjacking and trending. So just kind of feeding off. I know for Canada, for example, when Facebook shut down the ability to share news reports and all that stuff, like a lot of people were doing that. They'd be like, oh, did you hear about this? And they're commenting and they're responding to what's current and social and what a lot of people are responding to. Like one person, Dewey, who I shared yesterday, she had commented about the prices in her home country, and she shared that. She kind of took it based on the news and what was trending, and she got viral related to that specific post and how it was comparing the cost of rice to stuff, right? So it does make a difference that people can do, especially trending. I mean, if everyone's doing it, everyone's going to look for it, and it's good to be able to purchase. And personal, again, we can't forget you. We can't forget your behind the scenes. We can't forget your hobbies. We can't forget what you like and your family, because people connect to those. All right, and themes. So that's the different styles and types, but the biggest thing, this is where we get easier to be able to share valuable content to get stuff from our customers. that we can talk about is myths and overcoming objections. So if you have a solution, but you have someone who has an objection to it, like, oh, it's too expensive. Well, why not do a content post where you're telling why it is good value? And so they're not thinking it's expensive. They're thinking about, well, yeah, the solution is good and it's got great value. It's going to last me months. I can use it 10 different ways. Lavender post, 10 different top uses. Well, now it's not so expensive because you got 10 ways to use it, right? So these are going to overcome objections. Quick tips. Everybody loves quick tips. Here's 5 quick tips on how to make chicken, how-tos. Everybody, like, to what we might find easy because we've got that experience, we've got that education, we've got that knowledge, we've done that work. We wanted to learn about it, so we learned it. It may not be easy for somebody else. If someone were like, oh, how do you cook something? I'm going to be like, I can tell you, but I ain't going to tell you because I don't really know. So I'm not going to have a how-to on how to cook stuff, right? So I'm really big on health and wellness, but you'll never see me saying how to cook this, how to cook that, because it's not my forte. It's not my strength, and it's not something I'm going to do. But someone can do a really good job at doing the how-tos. Social proof, which is, again, sharing testimonials. So we're all social creatures, and I was talking with someone about this yesterday and how we'll mirror people. So again, they talk about having your group of 5, make you be the lowest of the group of 5, so you step up into your group of 5, right? So have your circle. So have your circle with mentors. If you have someone that they have the lifestyle you want, they have the business you want, like if they're a higher rank than you, be part of their circle so you can learn from them and you can mimic and copy them. So we are very good at copying other people and following the crowd. So that's a lot of it, social proof. So if you can prove to someone, say, hey, I have 7 people that used this product and they were able to lose weight, then you're more likely going to have someone that comes. Or like if you have a reviewer for a restaurant, if you've got 500 reviews and they're all 5 stars, well, you're more likely going to go to that place than you are someplace that has a 2-star review, right? So we really do rely a lot on social, and that's where our success stories come in from. So if you have testimony, don't be afraid to ask someone if they purchase something for you. What do you think of me? What do you think of my business? What do you think of this product? What do you think of our interactions? Anything. Capture that, because you never know when you can create a content to help support that. Behind the scenes. Everybody loves seeing how you're working stuff and how you're doing things, especially when you become a higher audience with more followers. They're curious to see what your behind the scenes are. So they allow people to learn who you are as a person and to be able to relate to you. Common mistakes and questions, again, helping with overcoming objections. Like, people make mistakes. We were talking about content and a lot of common mistakes people make. Well, that's a good thing to talk about as well, because you're teaching someone to not make the same mistakes when they start doing this, right? So not being consistent, not having a schedule, or scheduling a post and not going on to capture those engagements in the comments and responding immediately. Those are common mistakes. So if you hear posts or you talk about those different types of posts, people are less likely to do that, and they'll have more success. And the more success they have with your solutions, the more likely they're going to refer it to other people and be able to use it. Funny personal stories, personal stories in general. Everybody loves that, right? They love laughing. So, and actionable step-by-steps, very similar to how-tos. But again, some people, they get very overwhelmed very easily, and they don't want to think. They don't want to, like, I've got some stuff I'm like, I don't want to know how or why or any of that information. I just want to be like, okay, step 1, making a sandwich, right? Step 1, take the tag off the bread. Step 2, take your bread out of the bag. So it's a lot of different things that they just want to be like, give me the steps and I'll complete the steps. So it's really good.
People appreciate details. Some people really do appreciate the details that you put into explaining something. So
yeah, and that goes back to the educational side part of it too. And then you get, so it's all different styles and different types, and you want to hit on a lot of different things. You don't want to just do one type all the time. Alrighty, so that's the different styles, do's and don'ts. So just to kind of reiterate, because content is a lot of stuff into it, and it is the bread and butter of the business, besides knowing who your customer is and who you are. but it's understanding your audience, especially their pain points, because we want to really talk to their pain points, because pain points, people action pain points. If they're happy, they'll look, they'll view it, they'll be okay, but they really pay attention to what's their struggles are. Prioritize, quality over quantity. So have better quality versus quantity. If you have the time and the bandwidth and you're excited and you can share blogs every single day, or you could share posts on a regular basis, or you can create a 10-minute YouTube video every day, all the power to you. Do it. Go for it. But if you're just pushing and you are burning out and you can't do that and your quality goes down, it's not worth it. Right? So pick a schedule, pick something that works for you. If you know that you can guarantee one video with great quality every single week, do that one video. If you can do another one, do another one. Give them the surprises, give them the perks, give them the extra bonuses. If you are doing TikToks and you were like, I'm going to do 4 TikToks a week, do your 4 TikToks. If you can do 5 or 6, even better, right? Don't overwhelm your customers, but don't overwhelm yourself either, because you want to be sustainable. You want to be able to continue doing this months, years, decades later. Engage early and have meaningful interactions. So that kind of relates back to the scheduling posts. A lot of people use schedulers, but you don't want to schedule a post and ignore the people that are responding to it right away. So if you're in the middle, like say if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're at work from 9 in the morning till 3 o'clock, well, it's not a good idea to have your posts come in at 12 or 1 o'clock, because you're probably not going to be able to be there to respond to it. So you want to make sure that you are scheduling your post where you are free to do it, or make yourself free, schedule the time in that you'd be like, oh no, I can't make any appointments. I can't go do this because I have to be here at 2 o'clock because I'm posting on here. So your customers and your audience are going to like you being there right then and there to answer their questions and help support them and be able to respond right away. Right. And it gives them better, meaningful interactions and building the connections. Optimizing for SEO. So one of the things for search engines is keywords, especially for YouTube videos, blog posts, and everything like that. There are AI tools. There are different ways that you're able to optimize for that. And the more valuable content you have and the more that you do and they can get more from your website, the more you're going to get higher on search engines. So you want to do as much as you can. So make it easy, make the descriptions something that customers can follow and things that people want. I haven't spoke about this for the tools, and I could do a tip later in the Facebook group, but there are different websites you can go to and say, what are people searching today? Like I can put in, say, what are people searching related to doTERRA? So then I can get posts of what people are asking, and then I can create a video that answers exactly what people are asking. And then all of a sudden, when they Google it, guess whose video is going to pop up, right? So you can optimize for those types of engines. The clear call to action, we talked a lot about that already. You want to make sure you're giving a customer an action for them to do, or else they might look at it and read it and move on, or they might just scroll past, right? So you really do a call to action for that. And we talked a lot about diversifying your content. Make sure that you're using different themes, make sure you're using different styles, make sure you're using different types. So that way you're giving them a lot of different things and it's not exactly 100% the same. Right? Because once you get the same, then they can't see it, it gets bored, you get less engagement. Alrighty. So now the don'ts related to this. So don't plagiarize, don't copy other people. Make sure that when you're doing something, put your own twist on it, make it about you, do it from your voice and your tone and how you want to do it. Because the last thing you want is someone to be like, oh, they copied this other person, or they're just plagiarizing. And then that makes negative interaction and you lose your credibility because people
You
don't
could
know.
lose your whole business too.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Right? If someone were to sue you for that, then I mean you'll lose all your money, right? So
And if I can add one thing,
yeah.
is it's about focusing on that unique solution. That's why you have to have your foundation very well set, right? Because if you know that your solution is very unique, you will never go into copying somebody else.
Yeah. So I know AI is really good at helping with doing content, and it has helped me quite a bit with this challenge. But I change the words and I make it sound like me, and I make sure that it is following what I do, right? Because if and there's apps and AIs that can make sure that you're not plagiarizing as well. If you share something into it, then you can be like, "Is this plagiarism?" And they'll go scan through websites and stuff to say if it is or isn't. Right. So, I mean, everyone has a story, and you'll probably say the same thing as other people, but your audience and your tribe is going to resonate with you. So it's okay to say the same thing. Just don't copy it word for word and put your own twist on it. Right. So do it, make it unique to you, because your people are listening to you out of your voice, out of your content. So use the words that you would normally use. And don't be inconsistent with posting. So again, consistency is key. Algorithms depend on consistency as well. That's a new change that they recently put in, I think. So you want to be consistent. And don't make it all about you. So you do want to do, again, the educational posts, inspirational, the entertaining. So the content is about what your customers are looking for. It's about your personal brand, and your success stories will be, hey, Kimberly, your success stories as well would be about your other people. But if you make your whole post, and even influencers, if they make everything about themselves and they don't do anything to give value to other people, I mean, celebrities probably can get away with making it all about them because they're celebrities, right? But at the same time, people want more, right? So like if a celebrity is just sharing posts about that, like pictures about themselves and nothing else, they're probably going to lose a lot more of their followers, or they're definitely not going to get, they may not lose the followers, but they're going to lose the engagement, right? And don't disregard trends. Everybody likes following trends. So if you see something that is happening and people are changing, or reels, if you ignore reels, your content isn't going to be as visible as someone who is doing reels on a regular basis. And don't give up. So creating content and doing it with the strategy in mind and intention and purpose, and being able to follow all of these things, making sure you get your call to actions in, it's a lot, and it's going to take a little while to change. So if you did a lot of posts and people were ignored, like especially products and salesy posts, if that was all you were doing, or some of the other content that we're going to talk about, then you are going to be fighting against that algorithm. So you have to work to build, to change, and you have to be consistent. If you do this for 3 or 4 or 5 months and you stop, then you're going to lose everything that you worked so hard for. Some people, like some of the coaches and some of the people that I've shared, and some of the people that are higher ranks in your network marketing groups, they didn't just come in yesterday and start doing it. They've taken years to do it. And know that where you are right now, look at where you're going to be in a year's time if you're consistent with doing this. Where are you going to be in 4 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time if you continue doing this? You're going to build your audience. You're going to grow, but you have to start small and appreciate the fact that you are going to start small. If you have 1 or 2 people come, like I had 8 people sign up for my challenge, I was honestly expecting 2 people. So I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate you guys listening to us. But my expectations was 2 or 3 people. I was not expecting to have so many people. And as soon as I had that many people come and look and listen and sign up, I was excited and very happy about it, because you have to start small and build forward. So in a year's time, if I only have 8 people signing up, then I'd be a little bit concerned because I'm not doing something correctly, but I should be having more people in a year's time. Okay, so I wanted to kind of go through some examples of some good posts, and I'm not going to say that these are all like copy everything, but it's just to give you some ideas. So this post in behind that the pen is at right now, it is actually, I posted a personal story of how I walked into a restaurant and someone had commented on my shirt and they said it was a really pretty shirt. And I was like, that made me feel really good about myself. And it made me realize that I don't do it enough to other people. I had, within a couple of days, I had 640 post impressions on it, and it reached 600 people. I had 196 engagement on it, and a lot of these percentage of people were not even people that were following me. There were people that weren't even following me that started seeing this posts, right? So again, it talked personal stories. That was what I talked about. I didn't share anything educational, but it was a personal story that got more notice. The next one here is for Rob Dial. Again, he's really big at sharing for being vulnerable and kind of commenting saying, would you share this? Or what's your story? What have you been through? So he had 41 comments on this post, but the biggest thing is he had 26 shares. So 26 of his audience decided to share this post to their audience. So instead of just reaching his people, he now reached 26 times more people because he had the people share. So again, getting people to share posts is definitely one of the key things to do, because you're going to have people that don't know who you are suddenly start following and doing what you're doing. And then Dewey here, again, with the viral invitation posts, she's like, I'll share how to create online courses in less than 1 hour. And she said the date and time that she was doing it, and it's in her group. And she's like, I'll give you my template, right? So she had over 133 comments on this because everybody was like, yes, I want to be able to learn how to create an online course in less than an hour. And they were commenting saying, I want to join. I'm excited. I want to do it, right? So again, it was a viral invitation post. She's like, this is what I'm doing. And a lot of the viral invitation posts, you want to touch on their desires. You want to pique their interest, because now you're like, well, how do you create an online course in less than an hour? You know, like, who does not want to be able to create something in less than an hour? Who wants to create content in that amount of time? So you're piquing the interest, and then you're going to have people come to you and ask for you, right? And she's like, I'll give you my template. So she didn't actually do a call. She said, I'll share, but she didn't do a call to action to be like, comment to see if you want it. So she probably would have gotten more if she had done that little call to action for it. This one here again, like, look at this post for his podcast. So he shares this into his Facebook very often, and it's his YouTube, and it's a quick little, it's 51 seconds. It's a quick snippet, a cut out of his video, out of his podcast, but it had over 4,500 shares and over 2.2 thousand comments on it. So again, we can't compare right away to Rob because he's been doing this for years and he has thousands of podcasts there, but it's something you can aspire to and something that you can say that this is what I want to do in my future. This is what I'm looking for. And then you'll be able to share to do that. And this one here, I really liked that this person had done this and it piqued my interest. This is all they said. So I did a thing. It's a silly thing, but I am beyond proud and excited about it. Who wants to know? So her call to action was, who wants to know, right? She had a lot of people posting, but not even an hour after she posted this, she put on what it was. And I was like, oh no, like, this would have been incredible if she had been like, I'll send you a DM. I'll send you a DM, right? She would have got that. She would have still had people curious. But as soon as I clicked on her name, it popped up what she had done. And I'm like, oh, and I backed out. So I didn't put any comments to be like, oh, well, what did you do? And I didn't comment on the stuff that she had done because she took the curiosity away, right? So don't be afraid to let it sit. And yeah, people are always curious. What did you do? Right? And this one here again is from someone I follow on Instagram. So her comment is, I went from zero to a community of over 1 million female entrepreneurs in just 5 years when she embodied the mindset of switching your mindset from I hope I can do this to I'm going to make this shit happen is a game changer. Knowing you're going to do something versus saying I hope I can do it, right? It changes your mind. It changes your action. It changes your focus. It changes your energy. And she got over 1 million people in 5 years. Okay. Oops. And she had 246 comments on that post, right? It's a motivational thing. It's a quick, inspirational, but you know, you got the comments. So I'm not saying for these posts to not do them, but they're not so good, right? So if you are a sipologist and coffee and tea is your thing, you could get away with this first post for like how much cream do you put in your coffee? I used to share this one. And I got people to comment, and I used to be like, oh, I'm getting comments. This is exciting. I'm doing really good. But now what happens if you got 100 people that are posting to this A, B, C, and D in E and F, and they're responding to it? And then your other posts related to your recipes for your food, you got 2 people responding to it. Well, what do you think the algorithms are going to say? The algorithms are going to be like, well, this post here is getting 100 people, so people want to see more of this posts, but they're not responding to the recipes. So I'm not going to go into the recipes, and I'm not going to share the recipes. I'm not going to let more people see the recipes because they're too busy doing this. So sometimes it's hard. Same thing with this other one here, Team Pumpkin Spice or Team Apple Cider. You know, if you're somebody who that's your business, yes, share away. It's going to build your business. It's going to help. It's a fun, it's a fun post. But for me, I don't have anything that's related to either of these. So it's not going to benefit me in any way by sharing a post like this. I could change it and be like, this or this, because everybody loves picking between one or the other, this or that. So I could find something that would benefit me, but this specific one isn't. And I know a lot of times people see, they steal the posts from other people and they'd be like, oh, I can't remember. There was one that was going around recently. I seen it on 7 different people's posts, right? Because they're sharing and they're going back and forth. But if it's not relevant to you, I wouldn't do it. Same thing with these ones. Again, you might get a lot of people putting in their predictive text, which is fun and it's exciting. And you can do them every now and again, but don't make it your big thing, because it's going to interfere with your algorithms, because your algorithms are going to be like, well, 100 people seen this, but nobody wants to see that part of it. And this one over here, like they said, post a picture, no links. And again, this one here, you're sharing your networking, which is nice, but they didn't get any responses, right? Because a lot of people are doing this. A lot of people are doing the same thing. You're not having really any call to actions for links. You're just sharing posts and pictures. And then again, it's just sharing all the products. So I can go into this person and be like, oh, look at Scentsy. They have this nice pumpkin. And then I can go to Google and I can find someone else to get the pumpkin. I'm not going to go back to Megan and I'm not going to be like, hey, I want this pumpkin, because I don't know anything about Megan. Like, who's this person, right? So you want to be aware that you're providing value and you're not just sharing that type of stuff. As well as this one, I had done this post and you can see here that I had 8 likes out of it. And I can tell you that there were probably my uplines that did that, or my cross line, right? No, none of my customers responded. And it was to get clove free for today. So I shared my product. I'm like, hey, here's my brand, here's my product. If you guys are interested, it looks very salesy, because what probably would have done better for people is say, hey, I have 5 diffuser blends that have clove in it. Who would be interested in checking them out? And if someone's like, yeah, I'm interested, I want to see it is. And then when I can respond back to them later is, well, did you know it's free for this month if you were to purchase something? Right? So again, it's adding that value, it's getting that curiosity, and it's not just sharing that I have a free product that you can buy, but it's sharing that you have value, that I gave them diffuser blends. I gave them a reason and a purpose to use the product, and a want and a need, and I provided a solution. All right. And I think Kelly is going to be talking about pillar content right now.
Yes. Okay. So pillar contents are like, I love, the image of pillars, because it's what's gonna hold the basis of, that you're gonna choose. It's gonna be the basis for choosing what you're gonna post, how you're gonna post it, and it's gonna help you be consistent. So we're gonna talk about consistency and cohesiveness. So established pillars help provide a consistent voice for your brand, making your message clear. So we will choose pillars, and that will help us have a variety of things to post about. Okay, but it will also help with the planning, with the organizing, right? And it's like having a plan. Okay, so easier to plan content in advance and have a well-rounded strategy to talk about all your topics. So again, pillar contents is that your strategy. Okay, what am I gonna post? Okay, what it's important for me to share, to communicate with my audience, and how I'm going to communicate that. Okay, so having those pillar content, those multiple pieces of content about the same thing, helps helps the search engine to rank you higher. Again, like Fiona was saying, the more you post about something and the more engagement and views throughout the time, okay, that's gonna help the algorithm, okay, and the SEO to uh, share, to help you reach more people. Okay. So
Sorry.
yeah. So also having a pillar topic that relates to the pain points of your customers and the solution that you can offer helps build trust. Now we will give you some examples in a little bit of what pillar contents look like. Um, and sometimes this can change. through time as well. As you get to know your customer a little bit better, you can change and tweak in the process, but you have to start with something. Just like you need to know your customer, you also need to know what is your goals that you want to achieve through your posts, and the topics. So pillar content is that it's organizing topics that will um, attract many people, but also solve their problems, right? Entertain them. Okay, so remember, provide solutions, educational, or entertain them, or inspire them. So there's so many options.
And I don't know if we're going to talk about this at one point. Sorry. I feel like I might have forgotten this part of it. But when you're doing your pillars as well, like we wanted to be specific about our target audience. We want to be
Mm-hmm.
specific about our content. So if you say, like I had one person I was helping them with their content pillars before, and they're like, well, I do healthy food. And I was like, vegan, vegetarian? Are
Yes.
you like, is it clean? Do you do recipes? Do you do restaurant reviews?
Like
Right.
what
So you,
exactly?
yeah. So you want to get as specific as you can, because to me, healthy food, like if someone were to share all meat diet recipes, or like
Yeah.
only like even some vegan recipes that I may not necessarily like, tofu, for example, I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to know. And it's harder for you to create content when you're like, well, I am just creating something on healthy food. So it, like,
Yes.
you want to
It's
make,
too general. So
yeah, the more specific you are, the easier it is for you to come up with content, and the easier it is for your customer to listen.
yes. Yeah, for sure. The pillar contents, they need to be, you know, very, very specific to the needs of your target audience. Okay, so having pillars allows for us to repurpose the content into different styles as well, whether it's short videos, quotes, etc., providing even more content, right? So, like we said before, you can you should actually be posting different things in your different platforms, right? Play with it, spice it up. And when you know exactly um, what is it that you are being that you're offering, those unique solutions that you're offering, right? Then you will be able to make better content, better quality, right? And
And
repurpose it. Because, for example, what you said on a TikTok in words while showing your face, you might as well do in a different, just, you know, a picture with a quote, right? Maybe just even shorter, or you can make it a carousel, whatever.
yeah, and like what I kind of talked about with Rob, he took his podcast and he made a reel out of
Mm-hmm.
it. So he highlighted one part of it, as well as you can take a video. So like I had an 8-minute video that anyone who signed up, they got to see the video. And I had a reel done for the first part of that video as well. And you can
Mm-hmm.
take videos and transcribe them and then create a blog post, right? Or like
Yes.
take quotes out of it and put it into graphics. So there's so much stuff, and it again allows you to use the same content but have it slightly different when it's going to different platforms. And you can say something now, and like 3 months later you could probably say the same thing, especially if you're building new audience, right? So you can
Mhm.
recycle some of the content that you've already been using and posting like a year ago.
Correct.
Okay, so breaking them
Okay.
down.
Yes. So,
Oh, sorry, I did talk about
yeah.
it, my bad.
There it is. So, the more specific you are, the clearer your message is to your customer, right? And less confusion. When people understand, they are more inclined to buy. So, again, like you said, right? I'm not going to follow a person that is sharing something that it's not what I need, right? And it also helps you to be relevant and to the point. Mhm.
kind of remembered like being specific as well. I spoke to someone else and she's like, well, I like helping people with self-care or feeling better or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, what exactly are you doing? Like what part of the self-care side are you teaching them? Because I know that's my expertise as well. So I kind of talk a bit about that. And she's like, well, I just recently got divorced and I know what that feels like. And I know how that changes a person and how to go through that. And I was like, I slapped my forehead and I was like, are you kidding me? Like that is such a specific place and that's
Yes,
such a good
exactly.
valuable part is to create your audience to talk to people who are struggling with divorces because that is such a huge lifestyle change. So saying that you're
Mm,
talking about self-care, like everybody can talk about that, everybody knows it, but specifically how self-care improves the life of someone who has divorced and they're struggling with that part. I was like, you can talk for years about that, right? So it really
exactly.
helps to kind of support to make it very specific.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So diverse content creation. So having your content pillars very well defined will provide you with more ideas to create content and fill your calendar. For example, someone who is into makeup can break it down into how to clean their brushes, their routines, etc. Right? So there are so many options, but the content pillars are for, you know, helping you when, like, I find content pillars to be useful, especially like in those days that you're like, I don't know what to post. Uh, Actually, if you have your content pillars very well set, like we were gonna show you with a calendar, then you will not go through that feeling because you will have it right there. Okay, and it will help you not to be so repetitive, but to be diverse. Okay. Um, so sustained posting schedule. It is much easier to fill a monthly content planner or annual one when you have your topics broken down. Again, I can't wait till we get to the example there. So just going a little bit fast through these ones. So depth and authority. The more areas you can share your stories or expertise in, the more people will listen, like, and trust you. If you share a recipe weekly, you will have people looking forward for it, right? And we kind of talked about that before as well. It will be easier for your audience to consume all your posts, videos, whatever. So bite-sized pieces are always easier to consume, and the audience will less likely be confused. So this is something very important because it's like if you don't have your ideas organized in your mind, you might start talking about something in a video, for example, and then all of a sudden you just start talking more and more about something else and something else, um you know but it's better when you focus it on a specific thing and you deliver exactly what you promised in the beginning of your video, right? So we always I think it's pretty clear that we keep emphasizing on being as specific as you can, right? So, how do we plan ahead with content pillars? So, this is the idea that you can use actually for your personal goals, as well as in this case, your posting goals, right? So, like we had the example of someone that's into makeup and that's what their account is about. Okay. So what we will do, it's what we can do to plan our posts, right? And to stay consistent, to be uh, diverse in our content, is we can label our content. Okay. Um, we can use letters to do that. Okay. So I can see all the bottom of the letters here, but I know kind of what it is.
One
Um,
second.
yeah, it's because of our head
Overlay.
title here. Yeah. But so let's say, like that example, let's say that you talk about makeup, and skincare. So those would be content pillars. Okay, those are two content pillars, and then you kind of are breaking them into categories. So let's say makeup, you can break it into talking about brushes, talking about concealers, how to match your skin tone. That's an example. And then you will have a different content pillar, which is B, which is skincare, right? You will break them as well into categories. You could do exfoliating, cleansing, and moisturizer, for example, right? So then you will write the labels in the calendar, okay, depending on what is the frequency that you chose to post, right? So if you wanna talk about, one per day, it can be as easy as that, right? But maybe you are, wanting to grow super fast. You wanna do 2 videos per day or 2 posts per day. So you will adapt it according to your needs and to your goals, right? But this is the idea. So it's very easy by using these letters, labels, right? That's I find it really easy to do that, and it also gives me a visual, right? So I actually like to have it printed or in a physical calendar, and I love the satisfaction of checking those out, right? Being like, yay, I did it, and that kind of motivates me to stay consistent. So,
I
mhm,
think one of the things that I forgot to put in here too is once we get the labels, I didn't post it, but is to come out with the themes. So the themes that we talked about is what we want to talk about to our content pillars.
yeah, exactly. So we can do that as well. Like, let's say, yeah, that's right there, right? So one day you can be having a certain like A1 category under your content pillar A, in this case makeup, and then you would focus on the theme, how to, or myths, or step to step, actionable step to step, social proof, behind scenes, whatever. So this is the beauty of all the theory coming together, right? um, and then when you have something like this, then you don't have to struggle too much, uh, you know into thinking what to post today, right? If you have a plan, you will be able to do much better, right? And also, having a plan like this helps you to be able to batch content. So let's say that you can be like, well, I'm going to um, take 3 hours in this morning because I have time today. I might not have time the following 2, 3 days, but I have time today. If you have your calendar like this, then you can easily batch, right? And record several videos in the same day because you have that plan. So that is the beauty of content pillars and knowing the different themes and all the variety that there is to content creation.
And if you notice here, like for example, if we're following A1, the first one is A1 for brushes is how to. So you can decide how to do something with the brushes. The next one is a personal story. Then the next one for A1 after is an action step by step. And then you have another one which is educating. So you can educate about the brushes. You can give them step by steps on how to do like their cleaning or something like that. So it's giving you that opportunity to talk about the same thing, but talk about it from a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which again is different content.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so this is
Oops.
it about, yeah, this is all about content pillars.
Alrighty. So then again, to kind of break down for some of the actions to take, be you, be authentic. You are enough. It's about you, and make sure that and the more authentic you are, the easier it is for you to do this and to be sustainable. Right? And use your personal branding so people remember who you are, because you need to stand out amongst everybody else there to call your tribe to you and to have them listen and pay attention and have people warm up to you. right? And then create your content pillars and break them into subtopics and pick out themes to talk about. Share success stories as one of your themes for your content. So you want to make sure that you're talking about testimonials and sharing, because people are really big for social proof. They want to know that someone else has succeeded before them. So if anyone were to come up and say, oh, you can do this, like Dewey had talked about once, she had a person respond to him and was like, I have a mantra you can use every single day and it'll guarantee you $1 million. So she's just like, oh, and she's like, well, I already are a 6-figure income. So she's like, well, I already get a 6-figure income. And they're like, oh, well, that's really good. You can use the mantra. And she's like, well, do you use the mantra? And he's like, yes, I do. So she's like, oh, so you get a 6-figure income. And the person didn't say anything, right? He didn't prove that it actually worked. So again, if you have proof and you can show that you've helped someone do this and say, well, I helped 6 or 7 people do this by saying the mantra every single day, then that's really what's going to get a lot of your customers and referrals and build your authority, and people trust you. Engage with your audience as early as you can when posting. So again, don't post in it. Like if you're posting right before you go to bed and you're gone to sleep, then you're not going to be able to respond to those people, and your post is going to go to the bottom of the list. Collaborate or network with others to help support each other. So again, I can't emphasize this enough. Comment on each other's posts, comment to other people, anyone that you want to work with, and network with people. You know, like if you do podcasts together, have someone who's an expert. So like for today, Kelly, she's collaborating with me. So she came on to help talk about the content. So we were collaborated together to do this. And personal development and continue learning for your industry and researching trends. So always develop yourself, always do better, continue learning about your industry and how you can become an expert, stay on top of what's relevant so that you become the know-to and the expert that people will go to when something new is happening. All right. Sorry, we're a little bit later today, but that's okay. What does this have to do with you? This is another section that's a little bit slower. Structure to stay organized. Again, we kept talking about being organized, having structure. It's easier for us to take action when we already know what actions we have to take or we're going to take. And you're not going to get overwhelmed or feel that you're not providing the right content. So, not overwhelmed figuring out what to post. You don't waste time trying to come up with something to do or say because you've already got it planned out. Easier to batch and do multiple posts when you find yourself having a bit of free time. So I know at one point I had like 5 minutes to create a TikTok video, and I'm like, if I had to sit there and think about what I was going to post, I'd take forever to do it. But I pulled up the content calendar that Kelly had created for us, and I'm like, affirmations, personal story, I'm on it, right? And I was able to do it within a couple of minutes. So it makes it a lot easier not wasting time. And using content as a tool. Kelly brushed on this. Social media as a tool, content is a tool. We have the ability to use it really well and effectively and efficiently, but we have to be strategic about it, because if we don't, it won't help you stand out to build authority, and it won't give you a niche. And start very specific for a niche and build up. So if, say, for example, for self-care, that person, if she starts with people who are like divorced, she can build up to grab other people, but you want to start with one person. You want to start with one area. Then it gives you better engagement, visibility, and reach. And you're more confident once you start to learn how to do the content correctly. Like if you make mistakes and it's not getting any reaction, that's okay. Learn from it, move forward, keep trying. Don't give up, right? Because you'll get more confident, and the more confident you are, the more people will listen and they'll understand that you know what you're talking about because you're confident in saying it. Right? And a tailored strategy that is easy to adjust. So if you come up with a strategy that matches your customer's avatar and personal branding, it's easier to analyze what works or what doesn't work. So if your customers like your entertainment ones, you're going to do more entertaining posts. If they don't like your educational, you're probably going to do less. I wouldn't recommend not doing any, but you would do less. You want to do what your customer and audience are working for you, and you get that opportunity to change. And it's easier to change your structure if something isn't working, right? So you can pull out, like if your educational posts aren't working, you can pull them out and throw in a different theme and start to do that way. So today's homework or tasks, I'm going to ask you guys, because I know there's a bit of a delay. I can tell I'm on my live. So while I'm going through this, if you guys have any questions or comments, if you want to throw it in the posts, I know it's a little bit longer today, but I appreciate that you're still here. I appreciate you guys for checking out the replay, #replay for us. But I want you guys to work on your content pillars, and I want you to put it into the Facebook, because I want to make sure it's specific enough. Because if it's not specific enough, you're going to be too general and you're not going to talk to anybody. You want to really get very specific about it. So we'll be able to help support you for that. So I usually use 4. Some people use a lot, like anywhere from like 3 topics to 10 topics, whatever works for you. But again, the more topics you have, the more you're going to be spread out, because you might have someone like I do self-love. I might have some people interested in self-love, but they may not be interested in business. So if I continue posting a lot of business and a lot of different things, my self-love posts aren't going to come up as often, and I might lose that person for engaging in them. Right. So I usually stick with about 4 topics. And then you break them down into subtopics. So I want you guys to pick 3 to 4, 3 to 5, personal for sure. If you guys are network marketing, you want to be talking about business, because you want the business mindset people to come to join your team. You want people that are going to build your team and have strengths that they're going to bring in. And then break each one down to about 3 different categories. So that you got your A1, A2, A3. So that way now all of a sudden, instead of having just 4 things you're talking about 12 different things. Great. So remember, you are enough. And we appreciate you being here. I'm very excited because tomorrow we're going to be talking about equipping you, crafting your toolbox, which we're going to talk about systems and tools. We're going to go through the AI. We're going to go through a lot of different systems and help with automation to make it easier for you to interact with your customers, right? So if you have a way of scheduling posts, that will be easier than coming in and posting it all the time, and it's a lot better for you to be consistent and to do your business correctly. All right. Before I show the ChatGPT stuff, did you have anything you wanted to add, Kelly? And I don't see any questions at the moment, but if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, no, just encourage, I would like to encourage everyone watching to do the homework. It will be a game changer. Um, yes, it will take some time in the beginning if you haven't thought about, being very specific about your content, but I promise you it's a good investment of time. Um, just to think about what is it really that I want to talk about. What are the things? So these content pillars should be things that you are an expert at, that you're very confident at, and they should be things that you can talk a whole bunch about, right? So choose well and really invest in this, and in even making your own calendar, your posting calendar, because that will be a game changer. It will help you to be more confident when you post. And well, we already talk about all the benefits, but again, just this is my own testimony. Okay, do it, because it's gonna really be a game changer. It's gonna save you so much time and so much stress, and you will see people responding way more to your posts, engaging more as well.
All right. So I know it's a little bit longer. I'll quickly touch base with this part of it for you guys. But let me see if I can share into ChatGPT. I'm not sure. Like I know Zoom, you can only do one screen at a time. So Kelly, let me know if it changes after I select screen share. So I want to go into ChatGPT. So
Yeah, we can see it now.
Perfect. So say, for example, if I'm going to use Kimberly as an example, because I can see that she's watching. So say if one of her content pillars is on fruits and vegetables, right? So we can say, I am looking for content posts that are one lines and are prompts to ask customers about fruits and vegetables, right? So she probably wouldn't do this, but as an example. So can you give me a list of, let's say 25, right? So we'll see if it comes out for what they're looking for. I said one line because I want to do it in a quick graphic, right? So what's your favorite fruit to enjoy on a sunny day? Who would think about asking about a sunny day, right? I love that. I would never think to ask this prompt on a sunny day. So if it's spring or in the middle of winter and it's warm out, that might be a good prompt to use. Right, team fruit, team vegetable. So they've got a lot of different questions and stuff here that they're going through. So now what I'm going to do, because he puts numbers in, I'm going to say, can you redo the list without numbers? Because unless you're putting them in the exact same order for when you're scheduling and you're posting, you're probably not going to want numbers, right? Because if you do the, do you have a favorite fruit that goes into your cocktails, and you do that one first, you probably don't want 24 written on it. All right, so now I've got all of these here. So this is the part, and again, you could do whatever you want, very specific, and you might not like all of these. You may not choose all of these. Can you stop him for 2 minutes? So you may not necessarily use all of these.
But at least you have options now. You have more options, and then you don't have to do it all from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
It already gives you an idea, right?
Exactly. Are you able to see my Excel, or are we still on ChatGPT right now?
We're still in ChatGPT.
Okay, so I just copied that. So give me a quick second to come back in here and stop sharing. So I'm going to go to my Excel spreadsheet. Window, Excel, where is my, 1 second. I think I find if I have it all lower on my taskbar, I don't necessarily see it. Okay, so I was testing this out to make sure I got it right. So I did put Kimberly's on here. Oops, well, that is so weird. Why didn't I do that? Okay, I'm not sure why it's coming across that direction instead. Maybe it's the way I copied it. Sorry, guys, give me 1 quick second to try to copy. So I just hit the clipboard instead. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe I did the wrong way to copy and paste. Okay, there we go. So if you guys can see that there now. So it went down in a lineup. Can you guys turn down the volume, please? Sorry. My son just got off school, so we're a little bit later. So then I go into here and I'll file and I'll save as. But what you want to save it as is a CSV file right here. So then I can say fruits and veggies, right? Whatever you want to save it as so you can find it. And it is going to go into my download file. I'm going to save that. That's okay. Oh, shoot. Maybe I just delete this. 1 second, guys. Okay. So I just saved that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go open up Canva. So give me a second to pull up Canva. Screen share, and we're going to share Canva. So now Canva is amazing. I know, Kimberly, you mentioned that you struggle with using it, and I mentioned I can go through it another time with you. Oops, Kelly, last time you were here and we used it, I'm still on yours. So I'm just going to borrow Kelly's. We can do create a design, and we can go to land, because they give you different sizes here. So I'm going to do landscape post. Right. So Canva is amazing because there's a lot of people that create content and they like to share their content. So they have designs. So they've got stuff here. So if I want to put in fruit and vegetables, for example, then it can give me designs that already have stuff that are fruit and vegetables. So now you can pick something you like, something that's resonating with you. Like I like the pumpkins. I'm going to go with the pumpkins. And then you can take out the parts.
We can, the screen is not really.
Oh, it's gone? Okay.
It froze.
Oh, no. You know what? It didn't freeze. Sorry. It's because Canva pops open the new link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah. Okay.
I keep forgetting because Canva, where they always pop up a new tab. Okay. So here we go. I've got some pumpkins. So I'm just deleting the parts that I don't necessarily delete row. So I'm deleting the stuff that I don't really want to see, and I'm kind of tweaking it to what I'm interested in. So again, you can always come over here and add your own elements. So I'm not going to make this pretty, but if I wanted to kind of put something else on here as well. So you can kind of change the design, or if you're like, I want to make it simple, I just want to do what's already there, right? So you have this. So now the next section you want to do is you want to come down to the apps section and scroll down a little bit. They have this one called bulk creation. So you come on the bulk creation, and then it says I want to upload my CSV. So I'm uploading my Excel spreadsheet. So let me just quickly grab that. So here it is, which vegetable makes the crunchiest snack? And it asks you over here where you want to highlight it, where you want it to come in first. So let me just group this together. So if I want this, you write, oops, sorry. I thought it was collect. Okay, so if I were to right click on here, then it says connect data. So we want to connect the data together, right? And I want it to be, which is the thing. So let me see. I think it's because I grouped it together. 1 second. Oops. 1 second. Okay, well, let's just do this. So put it inside here. Oh, 1 second. And I think I lost the screen again. Sorry, guys. Because then once we generate it, and it pops up. Okay, 1 second.
No, we can still see what you're doing. We can still
Yeah,
see.
I think I accidentally deleted my text box. So let me just, this one's a little bit different because it already had it had 3 different things. So yeah, you want to be careful with what you're picking. Let me just get rid of it. I think it's because of that table. Okay. So let's go back and try it again. So click on apps, click bulk creation. I want to upload my, that Excel spreadsheet or Google Drive, whatever they call it. And I want to select this one. And then I can right click on this paragraph text. Where is that one? Okay, there we go. And connect data. And then I want to do this one right here. And again, you can then change the format. And if you picked one that you like the format that they had, then you don't necessarily need to do all this extra tweaks and changes. So let's just make it a little bit bigger as an example, right? So, and then once you get it changed, if you want to put background on, do anything you want, whenever you get it done for the first one, then you would click on continue. And then it'll say, do you want to generate for all of these pages? So I'll say, yes, I want to generate for all of those. And I'm going to switch to that other screen. And it's taken me a little bit longer because I'm kind of talking to you guys about this. So this one here is the bulk one. So when I come over here, every single one of those prompts now are in this post, right? So I did not choose a very nice picture actually with the white, but now I have over 24 posts or 25 that I can share, right? And I can schedule these like once a week, once every couple of weeks. And you'd be like, is there a fruit or vegetable you'd love to learn more recipes for, right? So then you're getting engagement for your customers. Because these, I asked for prompts because prompts are like a call to action because you're asking them for something. Do you have a favorite fruit infused water recipe? What is your favorite way to add a burst of citrus to your meals? So this gives you that ability to create a month. Like I've done one before where I was like, I need 60 self-care prompts. I need 60 business prompts, right? And then I just create one graphic, throw them all on, and you can download them and you're good to go to be able to put them into a scheduler and stuff like that. So it's very easy. If you guys have any more questions, you want to see how that gets done again, I will try doing it where it's one screen that I can videotape instead of me screen sharing going back and forth, and to kind of do a step-by-step, or I can do up a quick checklist PDF guide to show you guys step-by-step how to follow, see, a how-to action step-by-step content that I'd show you how to make X amount of content in a couple minutes, right? So it's a pretty cool way to do it.
Yes, thank you for sharing, Fiona.
Yeah. So that's everything. I know, again, sorry guys, this one was a really long one, but content is very important. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Thank you again so much, Kelly, for joining us today and sharing your expertise and knowledge as well for doing this for quite some time. Tomorrow we are doing systems and tools, so hop back. It'll be a lot easier. I'm going to dig into some of the tools that I have been using. I'm going to talk about some of the ones that I do use, some of the ones that other people do, common mistakes, all that great stuff. So see you guys tomorrow and have a wonderful day.